Last week we got episodes 1, 2, and 3 of The Morning Show that premiered on Apple TV+, and now we're here today to talk about episode 4. Bradley starts her new position, the investigation starts for Mitch, and what happens now after Bradley interviews Ashley. We're going to talk about that and much more. Hey everybody, Elliot here today to talk about the latest episode of The Morning Show, episode 4, which was titled That Woman. The Morning Show experiences severe growing pains as it embarks on a new era. Definitely consider subscribing to our channel if you haven't already, and definitely hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with our content. And if you've seen the latest episode of The Morning Show, I want to know what you all thought in the comment section. Let's have some dialogue down there. So first and foremost, as you can see, I will be doing a week-to-week breakdown of the latest episodes, and I'm excited to talk about episode 4 with you all today. So let's break it down. This is a pretty solid episode in my opinion because it really kind of slowed the pace down because again, if you saw my last week's review for the first 3 episodes, it was very breakneck, fast-paced, quick edits, and it makes sense because it's a morning show and they had so much going on with the Mitch departure and the accuser coming out, and we had to get Bradley's storyline in the mix and her being brought into a new position, and now we're kind of settling into the show and we're getting a better idea of what we can expect. So the episode starts off with Bradley being introduced to the morning show. Everything is kind of going well. You know, we have this kind of back and forth, this kind of fake friendship going on between Bradley and Alex, and it's really funny because you're seeing everyone watching the show and everyone responding to their back and forth and everything of that nature. It was really interesting to see them bring in Bradley's mom and how she was reading off of a teleprompter and making up this fake childhood, this happy-go-lucky childhood. I really enjoyed the start of the episode and how they pretended to mold Bradley into this particular person. But we know Bradley. She goes off script. She talks about her drinking, how she cost the track team a championship, and oh yeah, she mentions something pretty big, that at the age of 15 she got her an abortion, which just set the world on fire. That watched everyone that tuned in, everyone that was shooting the show. Her mom was upset, and it caused a pretty good uproar in the show. So I liked how it stirred things up and kind of started some controversy there. We see Alex picks up with Alex the next morning after the great showing, the debut episode. We see Alex picks up Bradley. They kind of have a heart-to-heart, if you want to call it that. And Alex admits to Bradley that she's going to make this work. No matter what happens, their relationship will be good. They will figure it out. And they kind of have that moment there. She says she'll rather die than have the executives be proven right that Bradley was a wrong choice to bring into the mix. We see Bradley prepare for her interview with Ashley, which is Mitch's accuser. We also meet Vicky. Vicky is the new HR, investigator who's going to be looking into the investigation of what happened with Mitch, and if people knew about the circumstances. It's all confidential information. And we find out a little bit more about Vicky's intentions later on in the episode, but we meet her. She's interviewing the people. We see that she first interviews the weatherman and it kind of transitions to him and the young PA that are sleeping together and they have a relationship. So we're getting more and more unraveling about who's sleeping with who's had previous relationships with others. So it's really interesting to see all this kind of play out. We see again the aftermath of Bradley's comments on her debut show on Monday and how people in Mississippi have left school to kind of, speak their truth about abortions, and it's their body. And it's what I like about the show so far is how it's injecting some of these real life situations that we have in our current timeline in real life. So I like when shows do that, especially a show like this. Again, I'm not a big into politics. I don't watch news at all, but I like when shows kind of, and I like it when they do it in a smart way and clever way and not just force it into the show. This is what the show is about, and I'm liking how they're kind of handling situations that we're dealing with the Me Too movement, with, abortions being accepted in certain states and things of that nature. So I like that element being brought into the fold. We see Chip and Alex having a conversation about how Bradley's kind of becoming an uprising a little bit, how Bradley's overshadowing Alex, and how she's getting interviews, and how Kelly Clarkson, who appeared on one of the shows, brought her on stage and had a little moment with Bradley. And we can kind of see where that storyline's kind of headed with Alex, where she's kind of slowly, we know what Corey and Fred's intentions are, which is, and also Chip knows that they want to push Alex out of the situation, but we're seeing Alex is starting to put the pieces together, like she mentioned it herself. She's created her own monster. So it'll really be interesting to see how that kind of plays out and how she's getting the short end of the stick on this situation that she kind of festered on in her own right, not knowing the intentions for a lot of the executives. So that'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. we get the reveal that Maya talked about Mitch with Vicky, but then the biggest thing was that we see that Vicky is reporting into Fred about his name not being called out, because as we see later in the episode, there's a lot more people that knew about the situation with Mitch, and a lot of things they just didn't come forward to it. So it was really interesting to see that dynamic. Again, the show is showing you the behind the scenes aspects within this Me Too movement, how these executives are covering their butts, how they're covering things up. So it's a really interesting spin that Fred was the one that brought Vicky in, and Vicky's reporting to him about everything that everyone's revealing that's supposed to be supposed to be confidential, which we see that is not the truth. So as we kind of wrap up the episode, we see Bradley makes a change within his interview of Ashley. Everything's going kind of PG at the moment, and then she brings in a twist and asks her about the culture of the morning show, and that's where everyone's kind of caught off guard. Chip is telling her to stop talking. You see the face that Alex has. You see that Fred is calling up Corey, and Corey's really going along with it. So we see how that plays out. And Ashley does reveal that her and Mitch engagements weren't just a hand on the leg type situation. They had some mini encounters, some sexual encounters that she revealed to the show, and that everyone knew about it on the show, and no one said anything or stepped up. So that's a huge reveal, because everything that the morning show is trying to do is they're trying to make it seem like they didn't know about anything. Alex is, the mother of America. TMS is just a perfect show. But now with this reveal that Bradley got out of Ashley, that's not the case. So that'll be really interesting to see how that plays out, because if, and they have that confrontation, right? You see Alex and Bradley, Alex is really upset. Like, why did you do this? I brought you onto the stage. I gave you this position. And then, Bradley comes back at her and says, did you know? And we see that Alex says, how dare you? And we know she knows the truth. So it's really interesting to see this dynamic play out, because I don't think it's going to be a happy story for Alex, in regards to what comes out, what reveals come out about her and Mitch, about her knowing certain situations, and just a lot of the executives, Chip, Fred, all the characters that we know that know the situation. It'll be really interesting to see if the morning show gets crumbled down, or how this all plays out. Are we going to get some new characters that's going to replace old characters? It's a really interesting dynamic and a really interesting reveal that we get there. And I'm really liking where this show is going. And I'm really interested to see how things play out. It almost feels like Bradley was hired by Corey on purpose, and they seem to be in cahoots with each other to try to get the morning show on a different page. So it'll be really interesting to see how all these things shake out. I also like that they don't show us what's going to happen next week. We just have to tune in, and I will be tuning in. I will be reviewing next week's episode of the morning show, because I'm really digging what this show has to say about today's society, the culture, and how we shouldn't ignore things, whether it be the Me Too movement, and sexual people being sexually assaulted at work, at school, whatever the case may be, people being bullied, people being abused physically and mentally. We should speak up no matter what the situation is, and help the people that are in need. So I'm really liking that message in the show, and it's really interesting. I really haven't seen a ton of buzz on Apple TV Plus as a platform, nor have I heard a lot of buzz about this show, but I'm really interested in this show, and I'm really liking this show so far. And again, you guys can expect a review from Movie Files every week on the morning show, and I'm excited to be back next week to talk about episode 5, because I'm really, really digging this show so far. So there you have it. That's my thoughts on the show. Really well acted, great performances. It slowed down a little bit and giving us a better understanding of what we can expect as the season plays out. We didn't get Mitch at all. We heard his name, but we didn't get Steve Carell at all in this episode. But I expect his storyline to come into the forefront here in the near future. So that's that. Definitely like and share this video. Comment below your thoughts on the latest episode, and subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell to stay up to date with our content. We also got a lot of things coming this weekend. I'm hoping to see Jojo Rabbit later today. There's some stuff on Netflix I'm going to try to check out, and also I'm going to watch the latest episode of that and have the review out for you guys later today. So thank you for watching this video. Follow us on all of our social media accounts, and we will see you pretty soon with our C review. Thanks for watching this review, and we'll see you later.